Hi there and welcome.
You're listening to Animals and Us, Voices of a New Paradigm.
My name is Avantika, and I'm a researcher exploring animal consciousness, environmental sustainability, and planetary health. I want to help bring animal perspectives to the table and transform our relationship with the natural world.
And I'm Barbara. I'm an animal communicator and retired veterinarian. My true passion is exploring the hearts and souls of animals and helping people come to a much deeper understanding of who the animals truly are at their core.
This podcast is for anyone who loves animals and nature and has an interest in their own personal and spiritual development. We'll bring you powerful conversations with fascinating people about animal and nature sentience, consciousness, and communication.
Thank you so much for joining us on this journey of love, respect, understanding, and care for the fellow beings who share our beautiful Mother Earth with us. Hello, and welcome to Animals and Us, Voices of a New Paradigm. And I am your co-host, Barbara Shore, welcoming you and wishing you a very, very happy new year, this year of 2025. May it be the fulfillment of many, if not all, of your wildest dreams this year. And today, I have a very special guest. It's our other co-host, Avantika Mather. And Avantika and I have been doing this together for 2.5 years now, and it's been so much fun. And Avantika has a whole new adventure that she's about to embark on, and that's what we're going to focus on today. So welcome, Avantika.
Thank you. Thanks, Barbara. Speaking of wild dreams, I hope this episode is fitting,
I think it is. I think it is. So, Avantika, do you want to start by telling us basically what this is and then how you got here? How has your journey been so far?
Sure. So, some of you listening, you may know, I think it was a few months ago that I had promoted on social media that there was a scholar who was looking for PhD students. She's actually been on our podcast before. So if you've heard Vanessa Wijngaarden's episode, which is incredible, she talked about this project there as well. This huge grant that she got to do a big project on animal communicators, working with them collaboratively and finding new ways to engage animal voices in research and in the academic world. So long story short, here I was a few months ago kind of promoting these PhD positions that she was trying to fill. And I was thinking while I was doing, I was like, oh, these lucky people who are going to get to do this and get to work with her. The positions required moving to Belgium because the project is happening and is being housed at the University of Liège in Belgium. So I had told her like, I won't be able to apply. That's, really far and it starts really soon and it just won't be possible for me. So while I was promoting it, I was really thinking, I'm like, who are these lucky people who are going to get to work on this really exciting and innovative project? I actually didn't apply the first time. The deadline came and went. I remember, Barbara, you were asking me, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to apply? And I just thought, it's kind of a deal breaker. I can't move, for various reasons. And probably had a lot to do with my fears and things that I had to, just stories I was telling myself. Anyways, the opportunity ended up coming back to me again. The deadline got extended, and after many conversations with my husband, I decided to apply. Lo and behold, I got in. And so I'm going to be starting my PhD in just a few weeks in at the University of Liège in Belgium with Vanessa and her team. So that's what's in store for me in 2025, which is totally wild. Honestly, coming into this conversation today, I was like, is is this really happening? Am I, you know, I'm still wrapping my head around it because it happened so fast, unexpectedly, very quickly. And that's what's happening. I'm getting ready to move to Belgium.
Whoa! I'm so excited for you, but I'm also a little sad that you'll be so far away, but we will still be together. We'll still
Mhm.
be doing this podcast and talking and
For
all
sure.
that kind of stuff. So, what made you really apply? What do you see in this project that's so enticing for you?
That's a great question. I mean, I had a lot of time to sit with that as I was applying, and I realized, first of all, the project itself is just so exciting. I think it's never been done before for a team of, there'll be three PhD students, a postdoc who already has their PhD, and Vanessa. That's the core team. For a team that big to be embarking on a project to better understand how interspecies communication happens, how people are practicing it, looking at the overlaps and the um, with indigenous studies and indigenous ways of knowing, and then actually being able to see and treat and work with animals as collaborators is just honestly is just so exciting. I think I realized how much I wanted to just be part of that, to learn in that kind of environment, to contribute to that kind of work. And I honestly, I always thought, in the last few years, I thought that maybe I am headed towards a PhD one day. Maybe that will be the next thing for me. I just didn't realize, I didn't know what kind of school, what kind of program. So when I entertained the idea of this, applying to this program, I just started to feel all the feels. I was like, oh my God, that would be so incredibly cool, first of all. And it would also, secondly, just be such an honor to contribute whatever time, skills, and passion and experience I have to a project like this. Like, I think ultimately it came down to me feeling like this project is so important for the world. It's so important for academia. It's so important for the scholarship. It's so important for the work that's emerging, the work that's starting to take form. It's an emerging field of research. And I'm just so honored to be part of it. I feel like it's such heart-centered, magical work, and I'm just so excited to learn. I'm just so excited to be part of it and to experience new things.
Well, I'm getting a little emotional just hearing you talk about this because, I've been doing this kind of stuff for a long time, and for so many years, it was way on the fringes, and there was no research to support it at all. And then you got involved with University of Saskatchewan and MJ Barrett, and that was kind of starting looking at animal communication. Animal communicators are now called intuitive interspecies communication, and so that was a big step. But this project is ginormous, and you're going to be going to other places. I mean, it's involving different countries, different cultures, a lot of indigenous ways of knowing, which are so profound and important right now. So it's just very, very exciting. And you've known Vanessa for a while, who's leading this program. Can you tell us a little bit about Vanessa and how you two came to meet and her intention for this project? She's got it's a multi-million dollar project, as I
Mhm.
understand. So she's been doing something right.
Yeah. I know when we had Vanessa on this podcast, I told her, like her conviction to this work and the things that she believes in are so um, exemplary. They're so, I really look up to her. So I'm really excited to have the opportunity to work even more closely with her and to learn from her and to just be in her world of scholarly work. And yeah, I had a chance to, I think the first time I met her was through the work that we did on the symposium, the conference that we had in 2022. And then she was very involved with the 2023 conference. So that's kind of where our relationship started, was in this very small, intimate group of people that was putting together and organizing this large international conference. And it was, I think everyone who is part of that group and everyone who is involved in like any capacity as a presenter, somebody who submitted something, they're all incredible people. So I think in it, just by virtue of being interested in this work, we have a lot in common. And anyone who came together for the conference had a lot in common in that sense. This respect and reverence for the natural world, this curiosity to learn more about what it means to communicate intuitively and to connect intuitively on a deeper level with the natural world. And then what can we do with that? What needs to be done next? What are the questions that are still outstanding? Where does this work need to go? So when that's the foundation of the relationship you build, it's already pretty special. So she and I, continued our relationship. And last year, right around this time, I started working with her on the special issue. So I think we talked about that in the episode with her as well. So there's a special issue of a journal that we're working on right now that's going to have articles that are only focused on intuitive interspecies communication. So I've been working closely with Vanessa on as a co-editor on that. So my time with her has been amazing. I really look up to her, and her background being in anthropology and in the social sciences. I'm also really excited to learn more about that. And it's going to be so much fun. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it will be fun. And you've done quite a few things yourself, and you've traveled quite a bit and worked in other countries. So this isn't all that new for you, but maybe the Indigenous piece is going to be something new and very, very, very exciting, because it's the ones that follow the old ways that know about this relationship we have with the natural world and how everything has consciousness, right? It's just part of who they are and how they live. So that will be very exciting to be immersed in that world too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the work I've done in the past, like my training throughout school and, after I graduated with my master's degree, has been focused on public health related topics, which were meaningful and interesting when I was doing them. But I always knew that it wasn't, my passion. It wasn't like what was making my uh, soul come alive and making me full of joy. So I think this work feels a lot more aligned with, what makes my heart happy, what makes me curious, what makes me get out of bed every day. So I'm looking forward to, like I said, like utilizing my time, my energy, my resources, my skills, whatever I can contribute. I'm really looking forward to applying it in this capacity and on this topic, because the level of fulfillment for me, I know, will be completely different than anything else I've done before. And it has, immense personal value as well. Like I am going to be away from my animals, from my dogs and from my cat. And just the work that I'll be doing, I know will help keep me connected to them, just by nature of what I'll be studying and the conversations I'll be having.
And your husband?
Of course. At least I can talk to him on the phone, you know what I mean?
That's
I can
true.
video chat with him, and I won't be able to do that with the others the same way. So this will really be an opportunity to practice everything, not just talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And what's really exciting to me is that we're going to continue this podcast, and we're going to have some episodes like this where you're going to talk about what's going on, all the people you're meeting and the animals you're meeting and what you're learning and what you're doing. And it's going to be very exciting. So
Yeah,
I can live it through you.
yeah. And you know what? I really hope everyone who listens can sort of live it through me, because for me, it's not just about doing this PhD and doing this research and then publishing something in X many years. It's really about the journey, about getting there. This is not something I'm doing for myself. This is something I'm doing for all of us, and the team is doing for all of us. So I'm really excited to share that with everybody and to share the journey as it unfolds.
Well, already you're going to be working with people from other countries, right? I mean, Vanessa, you could talk about where she's from, and then the other PhD students are from different countries too. What about that?
Yeah, yeah, and I'm so excited to meet them and to see, because I know we all come from different worlds. We have the other PhD students are from, I think one of them is from somewhere in Europe. I'm not sure exactly which country. I think there's somebody from Finland, someone from Burundi. Vanessa herself is from Germany, and she has done a lot of work in South Africa at the University of Johannesburg.
And
And
also, she's spent a lot of time with the Maasai in Kenya. We talked about that. Yeah.
exactly. And she has traveled so much. So she's
Oh,
bringing a
yeah.
wealth of knowledge and
Yeah.
experience in different places. And then I think there's so many exciting parts of this, but one of the exciting things is that the field work that we'll be doing is happening in 6 different countries. So there's Namibia, South Africa, Belgium, Zimbabwe, Finland, UK, and India and Canada. So all of us are going to be kind of dividing some of those sites and collaborating on some of them. And we'll be actually going to those places and working with animal communicators there and animals there. And so there's many layers of excitement here.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
It'll be really, really interesting and fascinating to see how people connect with the natural world, how people connect with animals in different countries, and to like I'm just really excited to see what the research is that we do and how we bring it together then. And that's the next big thing, right? Is like making sense of it and interpreting it and actually carrying it forward in a way that's helpful for other people.
Wow. And another aspect that's really interesting of this journey is where it is in Belgium. Do you want to talk
Mhm.
for a minute about Belgium and your connection with Belgium?
Sure, yeah. Something really interesting has happened along the journey. When I shared with my sister that I'm applying to this program, it's in Belgium, she told me, she said, I think Nana went to Belgium, and Nana in Hindi is maternal grandfather. So I said, I had never heard of that before. I thought my mom's parents had just spent their whole lives in India. I had no idea. So I dug a little bit. I asked around. I asked my mom. I asked my uncle. I said, what is this about? He went to Belgium. And so they told me this story. And what had happened was sometime in the 1960s, my grandfather was invited to complete a fellowship at a university in Belgium. He was a leading scientist at that time in India, and his focus was on gems and rocks. So he was invited to do this fellowship. He completed it, and he went back home. It was a really big deal in the 1960s at that time to be invited to do something like that. And then he was actually invited back for a full-time position at the university to continue working there. And my grandmother also, who had her master's in political science at that time, she was also able to secure a full-time position in Belgium. And so both my grandparents were ready to make this journey and to leave India with my mom and my uncle and move to Belgium to relocate and to start a new life there. They had everything ready to go, their visas and everything was done. And then something really tragic happened in the family. Both of his older brothers passed away within a very short period of time of each other. So my grandparents had to put their plans on hold indefinitely and basically stay back and look after their families. And at that time in India, there were a lot of joint families. They would live together. And so they made that commitment to basically put their plans aside and spend the rest of their lives really looking after their families. And so when I found that out, it made me realize, maybe there's something else here beyond just me completing my PhD. Maybe I can fulfill something that was left unfulfilled, dreams and hopes that they had to do something that wasn't able to be complete in their lifetime. And maybe I can help complete that and carry on their legacy. So that really took things to a whole different level for me because aside from feeling excited and so connected to this work and this project, there's this element of there's this feeling that my ancestors are right here with me, supporting my journey, and also me being able to give back something to them and honoring their journeys and what they had hoped for.
That is so beautiful. Really. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Talk about legacy, karma, whatever you want to call it, right?
I know, I know. I'm still very much processing that. I'm just so excited that I'll be able to go there and maybe, go back in time and just kind of reconnect with them and on a different level. I was really young when they passed away. I was there when they passed away in India with them. And I have fond memories of both of them. And I'm really looking forward to being in this place where, where my grandfather once was, dreaming, hoping, thinking ahead about the future. And it's just all pretty wild.
Yeah, and you know what I'm thinking about is the indigenous cultures that I've been aware of, both in North America and in Africa. There's such a focus on the ancestors, and so it may be a really healing journey in some way you can't even anticipate at this point to be with those kind of people that have the focus on the ancestors, you know.
Absolutely. And, Barbara, we haven't talked about this much, but the last few years, the last 4 to 5 years that, I've moved into the space and learned more about animal communication, it's done a lot for me. It's not just about communicating with animals. Like this process of learning about this and diving into this has taught me so much about myself. And I also think it has given me an appreciation for my ancestors. It's all connected for me. It's not like this topic doesn't exist, in like a vacuum. It doesn't exist in like as a compartment of my life. It has just helped me really understand how connected we all are, not just with living beings that exist at the same time and place as us, but also with our ancestors. And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to those elements from Indigenous teachings and their ways of knowing in understanding better the world that we live in, the relationships that we have with those that are alive and those that have passed. And definitely we see that in animal communication too, that animal communicators are not just talking to and not just connecting with animals that are here, they're connecting with those that have passed as well. So there's so much overlap. And yeah, there's so many dimensions of this work.
Mm, amazing. Is there anything else you want to say about any of this in your PhD program and your new journey? Anything you want to add for people?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. I invite everyone to, join the journey. I will do my best to keep, it's one of my personal passions also, this podcast and through social media, just letting everyone know what's happening and what we're up to. And of course, I'll have to see how much of that I can share, being in an academic space and doing research. But I really invite everyone to come on board. Like this is not, I feel like I get to be like a representation of this community that we have created and that we continue to create. So, and I invite everyone to come on board and to comment, to ask questions, to share. And I'm really excited to see where things go.
Great. And one thing I'd like to mention is, as as you and I have talked, we want to continue the podcast. And I must say, Avantika does all the work here. I just talk and we organize things together, but she does all the techie part that I'm not very good at. So she's the one that edits these things and writes things up and organizes and everything. And I know, Avantika, you're going to be really busy with your PhD program. So I want to put that out to our audience that if you know of someone, if you can or you know of someone that would like to help us with this podcast, maybe do some of the techie parts that I can't do, or also it would be nice to have some kind of support. We've done this all out of our own pockets and from a place of real love. I mean, it's been such a joy for Avantika and me to put this on. But now that we're going to need a little more help, I think it would be nice to get some kind of support that we could either hire somebody or just, you know, pay for some of the things that we need to do to keep this going. So if anyone out there has any ideas for us, please let us know. And thank you so much, Avantika. I love you so much, and I'm so excited for you. This is going to be a fabulous adventure. And we leave you now with a blessing for the animals. Thank you so much for being with us. We'd like to end this podcast by taking just a moment to be quiet. And we give thanks and blessings to these amazing animals that we share our lives with. They give us so much and ask for so little in return. We hope that you can keep the animals and all living beings in your heart and in your mind as you go about your day. Thank you so much for being here with us today.